I'm John, and tonight I want answers about prison, the moose, and SpaceX. There's no stopping us now, because we're live.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says February 8th, 2018, then we're live.
February?
February.
February? Is that Canadian?
I'm saying it like
Is that how you
spell
say it in Canada?
No, we say it
February.
February. But spelled February. There's an R in there.
Yeah, but that's the whole reason. We pronounce things differently than they're spelled sometimes.
No, because I learned in grade 5 how to spell February, and then I've said it
Grade
like that.
5. Okay.
Well, I misspelled it up until grade 5.
Good to know.
Yeah. On the show tonight, we have the legendary Keith Stattenfield. We'll be taking your tweets. You can tweet us at John Wants Answer. And
I was off screen, so I had to fix it.
oh, what are you doing over there? Tweet us at John Wants Answer, and we will answer your questions later in the show. But if you don't like Twitter, do you like Twitter?
Not really.
No, I don't like Twitter. Although they announced the very first quarter
They're
profit today.
profitable.
Finally.
But I'm just going to say $91 million. I mean, Okay, I haven't made more than that. But I've gotten close.
Go to johnwantsanswers.com and click on the contact link if you want to contact us that way instead than Twitter. Big news, big news. This show is catching on, finally, after 9 seasons. So, we have new affiliates. So look at our map. Take a look at our map. Now that was a map before. Now, we got a new
Look at all
new
that empty
affiliate.
land. We
I know.
can't watch this show.
We got a new affiliate in Orca Media in Montpelier, Vermont. Now let's see, let's add a star for them.
Okay. Vermont.
Did you see it?
Yeah, we saw it. You missed it.
Okay,
Do you know why you missed it?
it's so small.
It's very tiny.
But that's not it, that's not it.
No, of
we
course
have
that's not it.
an additional new affiliate. This one is Miles Co-op Telephone Association in Miles, Iowa. Let's see that one. Do you see it? I don't know, I can't see it.
Yeah. We also missed that one. Do you know why?
Why?
It's so small.
Okay.
It's a telephone co-op. Is this our first telephone co-op?
Our first telephone co-op.
Do people have to call up and ask the guy downtown to change the channel?
Maybe. Okay, now we're big in New England. That's where all the action's happening. Let's zoom in to our New England to see all our affiliates there.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at all these.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere in Vermont, New Hampshire, or Massachusetts, or Rhode Island and not see us.
Without being subject to the...
To the great comedy and wisdom.
I would not use those words.
Of this
but,
show.
Okay. Have you ever been to any of those states?
I've been to Massachusetts.
Yeah. Did they
Boston?
recognize you?
No.
That should tell you something.
Well, I was in Boston. I don't think we actually played in Boston itself.
Really? I bet one of those stars covers
And then I went
Boston.
from Massachusetts, I drove all the way to Quebec. So I think I
Okay.
went through Vermont and New Hampshire.
Almost definitionally, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you could have gone through New York, but yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. But I didn't stop.
Well, good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
That was a good road trip I had. All right. The opinions stated here are my own, not necessarily those of my employer.
Yeah. Nice hat, by the way.
Yes,
My company doesn't give hats.
I got
And by doesn't give hats, I mean doesn't make me wear a stupid hat.
rebought. I was bought, and then I was bought again. I was bought and spit out,
Yeah.
and then, well, I wasn't bought again.
Yeah. So I imagine everyone there is very
There's a,
excited. I mean, now you get free web searches again.
yeah.
Wow.
Before we had to pay, we got wholesale searches before.
Of course, yeah. Everyone buys them wholesale.
We got them wholesale because we were, in Alphabet.
the whole
But now,
yeah.
now they're free. Okay, so let's start. Let's see the topic board tonight. What do we
Yeah.
have? So on the board tonight we have real estate, Canadian wildlife, the final frontier, socks, vintage ballet, and finally, creepy or hilarious. All right, Keith, which one do you want to pick tonight?
I'm gonna pick real estate for 200 for some reason. I don't
All
know
right.
why. I don't know why.
What's the question
And
there?
I always seem to pick that top left corner.
And the question is, the big house.
Ah. I can't afford a big house in California.
This is a different kind of big house. I know a guy going to prison.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not you, is it?
No. I'm not going to name names.
I mean, I'm just saying affiliate fraud is significantly prosecuted by the authorities when people are stupid enough to mention it
Yeah.
on television.
So, I'm not going to tell tales out of school, but I know a guy. This is the first time in my life I know a guy who's going to prison.
I bet you've known guys who are going to prison before.
Well, I'm sure like there's kids in my high school who eventually went to prison.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard firsthand.
Okay.
Have you ever been to prison?
No.
Or
Not even on a visit.
Not even a visit.
I've driven past some. I mean, you can tell because you go by a sign that says, don't pick up hitchhikers.
Yes. I've been to Folsom.
Yeah. Did
Just
you go
the
to a
city.
concert?
No, I was looking at a call center.
No.
Yeah.
That's not as exciting.
No. What's the difference between jail and prison?
Jails are usually run by like cities or counties.
Uh-huh.
And they're kind of short term. Like you don't go to jail for 30 years. You go to
Oh.
prison.
For
But
jail,
like if you get like 90 days, you do that in jail. You
Okay.
don't- It's like if for more than a year, you usually end up getting sent to a prison.
remember that chick? What's her name? Paris Hilton. She went to jail for like
Yeah, like
half
6
an hour.
hours. Yeah,
6 hours.
Yeah.
That was jail, not prison. Okay.
jail.
So my
You have to commit a felony to go to jail or to go to prison,
oh, that'd be a felony.
but you can commit a misdemeanor and go to jail.
Okay. So the guy,
The guy.
I know,
Yeah.
he's been convicted,
Okay.
but not yet sentenced.
Ooh, how exciting.
So I don't know how long or where or what the deal is. Now, his court case, he's investigated by the FBI.
Yes, the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
So this means he's going to federal prison, probably.
Oh, well,
right?
probably not actually.
Probably not.
I've heard they're shutting down the FBI.
Really?
Yeah,
But,
probably like all the cases they prosecute are get thrown out.
oh.
Yeah,
But
because they're corrupt.
But presently he has been
Yeah,
convicted.
I'm sure it'll get thrown out. That's what his lawyer's working on.
It was in U.S. District Court.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
applies
that's
federal.
where
Yeah.
federal, that's where the FBI cases go generally.
Are state and federal prisons a lot different?
I haven't been to either one.
Like if I'm going to the big house, do I want a state instead of federal? Or
I think you don't want either one.
well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'll
my
tell you this:
goal.
you especially don't want Gitmo. I think of all the federal prisons, that one's the worst.
right.
I
Does that even count as a federal prison? Isn't it like more like under the
don't know.
military prison? So
Overall, I think you probably want a state prison as opposed to a federal, because there are a lot more federal things that are bad. Also, there's no parole in the federal system.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now before the trial,
Yeah.
he was first indicted
Yes.
by a grand jury.
That's correct.
What's all that about? Like, why do people need to be indicted?
Well,
before
indicted is
the
just
trial?
accused. It's just a fancy Latin word for accused.
Okay.
I mean,
But
it just
like-
means that they've decided to charge you with a crime, and then a grand jury, which is a bunch of people, looks at the evidence and says, yeah, he should stand trial.
But not everyone who goes to trial has to be indicted first, do they?
That's correct. I mean, the DA can also just press charges and take it to court, but a lot of times they like to have a grand jury.
Why?
I don't know. They're lawyers. They more billable hours.
But there were
I think
Employed by the
I think federally you have to have a grand jury.
okay.
I think the states, some crimes can be charged without a grand jury.
Okay.
I may be wrong. Might be everything goes through a grand jury.
So
It's
if I
like
was
on
like-
Wednesday morning, there's a grand jury.
If I was on the corner selling weed
Yeah,
and the FBI caught me, because the feds don't think that's legal,
yeah.
then it would have to be indicted. And then,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So indictment basically just means they figure out if there's enough evidence to even
Yeah,
start a
they
trial.
decided you should stand trial.
Okay. Now you're not guilty if you're indicted.
not guilty.
You're just.
Indicted. That's why it's a different word.
So
Well, you're probably guilty. Let's agree.
Yeah.
They don't make mistakes.
I know, right? Anyone who's been arrested,
Yeah.
clearly is guilty.
Clearly is guilty.
Now he's being sentenced in April.
Okay.
And he got convicted in December.
What?
It's like 5 months. Why does it take 5 months for them to figure out sentencing?
Well, there's a process.
Okay.
I mean, the
is there like a lot of lawyers
I
talking back and
mean,
forth?
there are standards for how long you should serve, so you got to wait until the trial is done to know what you were actually convicted of.
Right. So the trial was
And
done in
then-
December. Yeah.
The paperwork people look at it and they decide, well, this means 17 months and this means this many months, and courts are busy,
Yeah.
so it takes a couple months.
Okay. So April he goes to court.
Okay.
They sentence him. You're going to the big house
Yeah.
for 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, do they like haul him away there on the spot?
I think they can, but they might not. I mean, they might
they
also
might-
give him a date. He has
Or
to
show up,
show
okay.
up,
Right.
which to me has just got to be very awkward. I mean, yeah.
It's
Like
like
to call a friend and
he's
say,
like a
can you?
lame duck citizen.
You know, it's like worse than can you give me a ride to the airport? Because it's like, can you give me a ride to prison? And by the way, I'm going to need you to pick me up in 24 to 31 months.
Right. But a lot less luggage.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know what the luggage limit for prison is. I'm going to guess 0.
It's like one bag and $50 for the next bag.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a number.
So there's different levels of prisons. I understand.
Yeah, well, okay.
What are different levels of prison?
Well, I mean, they're like supermax prisons where
That's
if you're
bad.
I mean, they have prisons where you only go if you've been thrown out of another prison because you were a bad prisoner and disruptive and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then there are prisons, and there are prisons where they're trying hard to rehabilitate you. Maybe if you've been convicted of a crime where you're going to get out in a couple of years.
Are there like different levels of security?
Yes, there's like maximums. There's uber maximum security, super max. There's
Right.
maximum security. There's minimum security. There's probably some numbers in between them. There's
So-
prison if you were on Wall Street, which involves, I'm told, tennis courts.
So my guy, he
Yeah.
was convicted of fraud.
Fraud.
So it's a white collar crime. So
Okay.
does that sound like he'd be going to minimum security?
I would my guess, but you should ask him. Unless you don't talk to him anymore because he's a
He's
convicted felon.
he's now a felon officially, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't be seen with him within 300 yards or something. Part of my parole.
Yeah.
So like Alcatraz, what kind of prison was that?
State prison.
It was a state? I thought it was a federal prison. Because that guy who cheated on his taxes had to go there. Al Capone.
Yeah, Alcatraz.
He's not
yeah,
from
no,
Sam.
yeah, no, Alcatraz,
Yeah.
federal prison.
But it sounded like it was a maximum security because they built a whole bay around the prison
Yeah.
to make sure they can't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of digging. You know who did all the digging? Prisoners.
Prisoners.
Yeah. That's why prison labor is so.
So cheap.
Yeah.
Okay. So if he goes to minimum security prison, he's going to have tennis courts.
I don't think
and
so.
TV. And he's going to have like a furniture in his room. His
Well, I mean, I think he'll have a bed. I mean, I think they guarantee you a bed most of the time. Like if you get thrown in the hole, no bed. But like when you show up, I think they have set aside a bed for you probably.
Right. Okay.
Good behavior.
Now, can just anyone commit a white collar crime?
I think anyone can. I mean, I don't know if there's a law against committing a white collar. I mean, clearly there's a
there's
law
laws against
committing a white collar crime, but that is the law.
Seems like a
They don't have another law against committing white collar crimes,
It seems like a crime of opportunity.
like fraud.
Yeah. Like if I'm just a guy.
Well, like
Unemployed.
Aren't most crimes of opportunity? Like,
No.
I could commit a crime, and so I
no.
did.
I could walk into-
seized the opportunity.
I could walk into 7-Eleven and ask for all their money and shoplift, and I can just crime away. Fraud, you kind of need to be in a position of power to be able to commit fraud. Like, I don't think I can commit fraud. Who would
I bet
fraud?
you could.
I can't embezzle money from my company. I don't have the power to sign checks.
Oh, you could just steal a pen every day.
Yeah?
I mean, it adds up.
I don't think they'd even care. They'd prosecute
I'm
me.
just saying, there's a
Who's-
number, right? Just maybe not one pen, but just like if the people in your building were suddenly like, has anyone seen any pens lately? I mean, we buy boxes and boxes of pens, but there are never any pens. And then they'd be like, well, we were doing some Google searches, and there's this guy that's selling pens on eBay for like half price. And then they'd IP trace it back to you, and
There
then
was a
you
time-
could visit your friend in white collar prison.
There was a time, grade 5 again. Wow, I did a lot of stuff in grade 5.
Yeah.
Grade 5, I got in trouble
Yeah.
for selling pens to other kids.
Wow. Because you're undercutting the school?
I was acquiring the pens in questionable manners
So you're stealing pens, is what you're saying.
from
Was this in Canada?
in Canada,
Yeah.
not from Google.
5th grade.
Yeah.
So you were a minor.
Yes.
So
And it's been more than
statute
7
of
years.
limitations.
Yeah, I can talk
so
all about
this
it
is,
now.
Okay. So what you're saying is you're a confessed, you're confessed but unconvicted criminal.
I did. I was never charged.
Well, you'd
In-
still
in
be
a
a
court.
criminal. You just,
Yeah. Would appropriating intellectual property from Merv Griffin be considered civil or criminal?
Be civil.
Civil.
I
So I probably go to the big house.
think civil. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
civil.
Okay, good.
I mean, it would depend. What's the intellectual property? Did he like invent
like a game
secret
show?
NSA radar?
Some kind of game show.
Oh yeah, that's
artwork.
civil. Yeah, that's civil.
That's civil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not. You keep saying it, but I'm not going to jail for that.
Well,
But let's say I did go to jail. Let's say I committed bad crime. I'm
Yeah.
going to jail.
okay. Can I have your stuff?
That's the question. Is what happens to my stuff?
I get it.
You get it?
Yeah.
Or what if I don't give it to you?
Dibs.
What if I don't give it to you? Like I have a
What
house.
are you gonna do? Like you're gonna be in prison.
So you'll be
You'll be
joining
like,
me
hey
after
Keith,
that.
can you give me a ride to prison? And I'll be like, sure.
I should
You'll
have
be
your house
like,
keys.
don't steal my stuff while I'm in prison. And I'll be like, I'm not gonna steal your stuff while you're in prison. And then eventually you'll get out of prison. You'll be like, what happened to my stuff? And I'll be like, I don't know. I mean, someone must
Okay.
have stolen it.
But like, who like pays my bills?
Nobody.
So then how like? Do I lose my house because I'm in prison?
Probably.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Don't go to prison.
I should get a guy.
You should get a guy.
Maybe I should get a lawyer. Will my lawyer handle that for me? Like every
if you
once a
paid him.
year, pay my property tax.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, do you have enough money to go to prison and pay your property tax?
Yes, I do.
Good times.
That's right.
Why would you keep your house though?
Well, the crime I'm going to commit, I'm going to get out in 5 years.
Well,
not
buy
gonna
a
say-
new house. I mean, you're not gonna be able to live there anyways. Within 500 yards of a school.
I'm not going for that kind of crime. No.
That's what you say now.
I got my crimes all planned
I'm
out.
just telling you. Once you get to prison, the rules get very fuzzy.
Can I pay my bills from prison?
No,
They don't let me have a checkbook?
I don't think. I'm not sure they let you have a pen.
Oh, well, okay. Are conjugal visits a real thing, or is that like
Yes.
it is a real thing?
Yeah, but they're
right.
well. First of all, you have to be married before. You have to be married.
Get married, not
Yeah.
just a.
No, I don't
Side
think.
chick?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, maybe in Canada.
Okay. Well, let's go to our next topic. Let's see the topic board
I'm gonna pick Canadian wildlife.
for 200.
Sure.
All right. What do we
sure.
have there?
I've noticed I never get this money,
The moose.
which seems like a crime. I'm gonna sue. I'm gonna sue. You're going to jail, man. Where's my money?
All right. Now we get to watch a.
A cow moose and her calf. And not far away, the bull moose. Some bulls weigh as much as 1,800 pounds, but the average is around 1,000. These animals, the largest members of the deer family, range in Canada's forested areas. Their food is water plants and the tender twigs and leaves of quite a variety of trees. They have great endurance on land and are strong swimmers. And one of their habits is to travel upwind and double back before bedding down at night, so that enemies on their trail must approach them downwind. For a more complete story of the moose, why not contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa?
All right, and we're back.
That was some great stuff about mooses.
Meese.
I think it's mooses.
Mooses? Oh, I thought it was meese. We had a message come in
Really?
to the show.
Like a real message?
A real message.
Like not someone in this room sending us a message because they're bored?
They were not in this room at the time it was sent. Okay,
That seems. I'm
From
seemed like
today-
a weasel. Seemed like a weasel word.
questions for the show.
Yeah.
What's the price tag on Elon's Tesla today, and how much that will be worth in 50 years? That's
Which
from
one?
Daniel. And from Lillian, would the car possibly fall back on Earth, given the car has elliptical trajectory, which causes Earth orbit?
Well, could.
We'll have to cover this in our next topic.
Really?
Let's see the topic board.
It seemed like you were giving away what the next topic is. Like I have. Here's my question now: do I have free will or not?
No. What do you pick now?
I'm gonna try. I'm going to pick the Final Frontier for 200.
Final Frontier for 200. And what do we have?
Yeah.
SpaceX.
Yeah. You know what else we have? We have a concrete demonstration that free will is a myth. It's an illusion.
You just free-willed yourself to the Final Frontier. Okay, SpaceX, they launched a rocket.
Yes.
What kind of rocket did they launch?
Big one.
Big one. Was it the SpaceX Falcon Heavy?
That was it.
That sounds huge.
Yeah, well,
That's what
I
she
think they
said.
have a bigger one under development.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
So what's the big deal? Everyone's going on about this rocket, making a big deal about it.
Did you watch it?
I did not watch it.
Oh, you should have watched it. It was
Yeah?
great.
What happened?
Well, like it went up,
Okay.
and then it came back down.
Okay. That's how.
And that first part by itself is always impressive.
Right.
And that second part, impressive.
Usually it's
Didn't
just,
used to happen the impressive way.
usually parts just fall to the
Yeah,
ground.
usually there was
right?
a lot of plummeting.
In
In this case, there was a fair amount of plummeting, followed by a fair amount of not plummeting, followed by man, that's awesome. Those two rockets just landed on the ground.
But it was all
like
like-
it was nothing.
It was all a soundstage, right? They
No,
just-
that was the moon landing.
They just ran
no.
the
These,
footage
these
in
were all
reverse.
CGI.
Okay.
You know, we don't need to do a soundstage anymore.
But 3 rockets went up.
Well, the one rocket went up.
I think 3 parts
It was one. It's one thing that went up.
One thing went
and
up.
then it's split apart.
split apart into 4
Like a
parts.
transformer.
2 things landed correctly. 1 thing hurled toward the Earth at 300
Plummeted.
miles
It
an
was
hour
plummeting.
into the ocean. So that
Well,
was
except
not,
for that last part, yes.
that was not the plan. The plan was all 3 would land.
They were trying to land all 3.
nicely. Okay.
But it turns out to be hard to land a rocket.
Yeah, I can't do it.
No.
So this was SpaceX, a corporation, a
yes,
private
yes.
corporation.
Yes.
Now NASA used to do this kind of stuff, right?
Well, yeah, for NASA things.
But they don't do that anymore. NASA hasn't launched anything for a long time,
Yeah,
right?
no, well, no, they do. They launch like spy satellites and shit.
Doesn't SpaceX just launch it
Well, some of them.
and then let them go
Yeah.
in orbit?
Yeah. Like you can pay SpaceX to launch something.
Yeah. Did they have a
Pay
cargo?
the Russians to launch something. You can pay the French to launch something.
The French? I didn't know they were doing
Yeah,
space stuff.
yeah, French.
How are the North Koreans?
I don't know if you can pay the North Koreans to launch stuff. I mean, they have been launching things.
Yes, that's
But I think they remain solely a government thing.
So, how much does it cost
I
them
don't
to
know,
launch?
millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. Like $90 million, for example?
Yeah, like one Twitter profit would get you a rocket launch.
But did they have any cargo on this one, or was it like just a test?
This is a test.
So they spent $90 million just on testing stuff?
That's the way it goes.
Did this company make any money yet, or they just
I don't think they made any money yet, but
Wow. That's like a...
I mean, Twitter just barely made money. And
Oh, yeah.
what are they? Twitter's got 0 rockets.
Google makes lots of money. They have 0 rockets too.
You got balloons.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Now, what's the weird
You
thing?
should move to that balloon division.
No, thank you. What's that weird thing that was on this rocket that you wouldn't expect to be on a rocket launched into space?
A Tesla Roadster.
A Tesla Roadster.
Yeah.
Why is there a Tesla Roadster being
Well,
sent
it got to
into
be
space?
something. It had to weigh a certain amount, and Elon had this Tesla Roadster that he wasn't driving around anymore
Running
because
around?
he was first in line for an M3.
Would that car possibly fall back on Earth, given the car has an elliptical trajectory? Which
Anything could
crosses-
happen.
Okay. So
mean-
we got to duck for the next few years.
All I'm going to say is we sent a probe out, and then it came across another probe, and renamed itself, and then it came back and almost blew up the whole solar system. But at the end, William Shatner saved us all.
Okay. Okay, so I heard, first of all, Elon Musk, he's crazy, right?
He's eccentric.
Okay.
When he's not crazy because he's rich.
Now, the radio, I heard, was playing Space Oddity by David Bowie.
No. There's no sound in space.
That's why I'm asking. Like, there's no sound in space, is there?
No, but it was tuned to a station. And that station
was-
would have been playing.
It's tuned to like a Pandora streaming. Oh, you can't get any
There's no
stations.
internet in space.
There's no internet in space.
No, but
Or
there's
radio.
radio waves.
You can't get radio waves from space.
Well, you can. They keep going.
I can barely get San Francisco stations from here. This thing's way farther than San Francisco
Yeah, but it's line of sight. It's line of sight. I mean, there's no mountains in the way.
No mountains and trees in the way.
Yeah.
Very thin atmosphere.
They got a good radio.
So now this means there's a station somewhere playing Space Odyssey all the time, just so that the car.
Yeah, well, not anymore. They stopped
Oh.
the live stream.
Oh.
I mean, they could only license that song for so long.
Yeah. So this.
It was a great photo, though.
SpaceX
I mean, that was almost worth $90 million.
Yeah.
Like to SpaceX to have that photo.
So understand, this rocket that SpaceX is making is special because it knows how to go up and come back down. And they're like one of the only ones doing that, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, originally the space shuttle's rockets were supposed to come up and
Yeah.
come down.
We lost a
Didn't
couple.
work out.
We lost a couple of those, right?
Well, 2.
2, yeah. So the old rockets would just like plummet back to Earth.
Generally, yes.
Did
I mean,
they
some
have
of them would keep.
some control over that? Because it seems dangerous having rockets just.
The ocean's very large.
So they made sure it was going to be over the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
Well,
point.
they tried. I mean, like parts of Space Lab hit Australia.
What was Space Lab?
It was a lab in
Right.
space
In space.
in the 70s.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
So it was like the International Space Station.
Yes, but in the 70s. And it was called Space Lab.
Oh. And then-
Skylab. It was Skylab.
Okay. And so then it ran out of power, and it.
Well, yeah, it ran out of yeah.
But once you're in orbit, don't you stay in orbit forever?
No, if you're low enough, your orbit decays.
If you don't have what?
If you're in low enough, if you're really high up,
Uh-huh.
then there's really nothing slowing you down.
Right.
I mean, eventually, I think your orbit will either, like the moon is getting further away.
Oh.
But if you're in low enough Earth orbit, there's enough of an atmosphere that it's always slowing you down a little.
Oh.
So eventually you're going to plummet and hit Australia.
Did they know this was going to happen when they built the Space Lab?
Well,
Skylab?
yes. I mean, the scientists knew that eventually it would probably come back down.
Did it know that soon?
Well, I mean, they had missions, right? So they'd send rockets up, and the rockets would have fuel, and they'd push it back up.
So why
And
did they
eventually
stop?
we got tired of spending money on it.
Oh.
I blame Nixon. I'm not sure if it was his fault, but I blame him.
But then, like,
And then
having something
Skylab fell.
crash on Australia seems pretty dangerous.
Well, if you live in Australia,
But the people who made it didn't live in Australia.
that's correct.
Okay. Well, that explains that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's all the time we have for. So
You're
now
gonna look for tweets. I bet we got tweets.
we have more tweets.
No, we don't have any tweets.
Okay.
Who would
Wait.
tweet us?
We got a few minutes. Here's what we're going to do. One more topic. Quick.
One more topic. Creepy or hilarious for 200.
All right. Creepy Hitlers for 200.
Wow, I mean, that vaguely. No, that's not free will. I mean, I knew you would want me to pick that,
Okay.
and I did.
Okay. So
Now,
here's my story. I'm going.
wait. I'm going to say creepy.
Okay. I'm going on the internet. I'm going to Craigslist.
Okay, definitely creepy.
And I'm going to get a bike. A guy's selling a bike, brand new, still in the box.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so he stole a bike and he's selling it to you.
So he wants to meet in San Mateo. Now with Craigslist, there's a good chance one of you is going to get murdered, right?
Or robbed at the minimum.
Yeah, robbed, murdered, right? So that's going to happen. So I don't want to play the victim. Okay.
Okay.
Just put that.
So
away.
you've decided to murder a guy for a
no,
bike
no, no, no.
in
So
San
then
Mateo is what you're saying.
I go to a map.
And you think you're not going to prison.
He wants to meet in San Mateo.
Okay.
So I go to a map of San Mateo.
Yes.
I find the point closest to me, the corner that's closest to me where I'm going to be in Palo Alto. And so I find it's county land, and the coroner's office is there. So I say, hey, meet me at the coroner's office. Because now, right, if someone's going to get murdered, I want to play the
You
upper
want to be
hand.
close? You want to be close to where the body's going to go?
I don't want to play the victim. I want to play the guy
Okay,
who's...
next time you offer to meet in the parking lot of a police station.
But that would be further away. I wanted to meet...
Wait.
Travel the least
So what you're
distance.
saying is you would rather be murdered conveniently than live inconveniently.
I want to drive the smallest amount of distance.
I think you should just go to prison. They will take care of you. 3 square meals.
So you're saying that was not hilarious? That was creepy?
It was not hilarious.
All right.
I think we'd all agree, not hilarious.
Well, our next episode is March 8th. Let's see if I make it that far without going to prison. Stay tuned for Deep Connect and then Jim Truth Show. What the bleep?
What do all these other stations,
All
other
right.
places do?